Now that you are here, let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought how long does it take to be a VP in Canada? 10 years? 15 years? My answer is gonna surprise you. Stay hooked till the end of the video and I'm gonna share all the tips, tricks and strategies I use to land a VP job as an immigrant in Canada within 2 years. Hello everyone, welcome to our new channel Tiny Tales of Ishani Global Dreams. I'm Ishani and I am from Montreal. I'm a mama to a toddler girl, a home hustler and a VP in a global investment bank, and also a dreamer who wants to reach out to as many people out there to help them and guide them in making correct decisions in their career progression in Canada. Let it be a student, let it be a work permit holder, let it be a PR. I have gone through all the phases for myself and my husband as well, so we know it better and we have more insider news to share with you all. If you really think this video is gonna come help to you, please like, subscribe and comment on our channel so that we can bring more information that's worthy for you. Do you think it's hard work or proven strategies? Let me know in the comment section, what do you think landing a VP job in Canada needs? So let's get started. When I first came to Canada, I had no job, no career, and I landed in the COVID era. So I was thinking, how can I rebuild my career and my brand value in this new country? And the most saddening part was I had to leave a very prestigious job and position with JP Morgan & Chase back in India. If you want to know about my research back in India that landed me several opportunities in Canada before I landed here, subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below so that I can answer your questions.
I received my PR through the Express Entry program under the Federal Skilled Worker, and my NOC code was 1112. While being stuck in COVID, I gathered my Canadian phone number through an app called Text Now and was registered with several employment service programs in Canada. I had an enrollment with the CEC programs and the Access Employment, which is a newcomers service agency. When I landed in Canada, it was COVID era, as I mentioned, and on top of that, there were news like some Canadians are competing against thousands of applications for jobs. Job boards are full of ghost jobs, and most importantly, there were educational credentials differences which were not at par with the Canadian standards. Like, for example, having a CA, Chartered Accountancy certification from India is negligible to hiring managers unless you have a CPA from Canada. Then there were news about the Great Resignation, youth unemployment jumping to 22% in 2020, and overhiring during the pandemic led to layoffs in 2022. These are so scary for a newcomer who lands in Canada as an immigrant, and I became desperate and was almost pleading to roll out an offer to me with a startup company in Montreal. But it was presumed that I would leave soon as I was overqualified for the position. I soon realized what Canadian employers actually think about an immigrant before hiring them. So what you can do in such situations? So here I actually tried to understand how the Canadian job market and the interview process actually works in Canada, starting from dropping an application to the interview phase and then landing the job offer. But the most important thing that I did was I reached out to as many LinkedIn connections I had every single day. And at the end, I figured out how to crack the ATS software, because that's how your resume will be selected and you will be given the call for the interview. And henceforth, you have to use strategies and plans to actually land the job.
Fast forward to a few years and here I am talking to you as a VP in a global investment bank in Canada. How did that happen? how did it all happen so fast? If you want to know my full story and the tips, tricks, and strategies that I used to land this dream job for myself, please stay hooked till the end of the video and subscribe to my channel so that I can share more insider news with you all. So once I landed in Canada, I didn't delay for a minute. I started applying to all the possible job portals that Canada uses widely for the applicants. I started applying to various job portals, like, if I recall correctly, it was Indeed.ca. I applied on Monster.ca as well, and I also did a couple of applications with Glassdoor. Just these three, but I did take a pause there. Reason being, I somehow was not feeling it right when I was doing those applications with this job portal, and this is my real raw experience, because what I felt is, firstly, was not matching with my criteria, with the domain of work that I'm looking for, because I had always been a part of a particular domain since 11 years in India and now 4 years in Canada. So I didn't want to change the domain of my work unless I didn't have anything in my kitty at all for a long time applying for jobs. So I was a little hesitant to kind of, apply for on those portals, though those portals were pretty user friendly and the interface was pretty neat and it was very easy to apply. Reason being, somewhere in my gut I felt like, this could be scams, because somehow something didn't feel right. Having said that, with due respect, I am not putting down any of these websites, because I'm sure there are several people who has landed successful jobs with these companies, and they are still doing so. I wish all the best to all of you who are still leveraging these websites to apply for your job in Canada. So, do you want to know what strategies did I use when my mind was so confused? I used two strategies. One, I used the keep warm strategy. So here, I just and only leveraged LinkedIn. So the network that I built on LinkedIn for 11 years, being in the particular domain that I'm into in my professional life, I leveraged those LinkedIn connections. I reached out to recruiters for the companies that I was really keen to be a part of, and I found out people who work in those companies and managers possibly, because in LinkedIn they do have their titles mentioned, so that was easy in a way to understand which networking is gonna go strong and what's gonna go little loose, right? But the trick was to kind of constantly initiate those conversations, not to bug them. I used to have a designed template, very generic template that I kept saved in my desktop, and I used to leverage that with the person that I'm talking to, and I used to send out those messages maybe once a week, or maybe twice a month, but the trick is you have to build that stage of getting the discussion started, because you need the job, I needed the job. So for me, I had to initiate those conversations and keep the conversations warm, so that they are very intrigued to kind of talk to you, to know a bit more about you, and this way you can know a bit more about them and their companies as well, because that's your end goal. Am I right? So the next strategy that I used was a very well-known experiment done by Yale University, where they were given a set of 2 ice creams, like on the screen as you can see. If I have to ask you, please choose 3 flavors out of these 3 ice creams. I'm gonna give you 2 seconds. It was so easy, right? I'm sure you have the ice cream flavor on your mind right now. But let's put this next photo on the screen. Can you choose your ice cream flavors now? I'm sure many of you hesitated. Reason being, when you have a lot of choices, you become overloaded, right? You become confused, you become totally unaware, because there are so many options and you have a limited time, because time is ticking, to make your options work, right? So for me, I kind of narrowed down my options. So I had a list of around 5 to 6 investment banks in Canada, and further narrowed down to the investment banks within Montreal, because at that point of time we already shifted to Montreal. I had those list of companies noted down, and my focus was only those companies. And one more thing, you know what? In the race of where I am trying to figure out how I can land a job, what's gonna happen, because everything was so unsure, so scary for me at that point of time, because working for 11 years, and then there was a halt in between due to COVID, and then coming back to a new country and re-establishing your brand, it was really challenging, and I'm sure it's challenging for all of you out there watching this video. The most delicate part at that point of time was my husband, who is also a VP. But let me tell you, he actually came to Canada as a student, and he was studying in British Columbia. After that, he got his work permit, and that's where he started finding opportunities, right? But he was getting none. And the most tough part, the hardest truth, the harsh truth is that he is holding 4 master degrees. Yes, he has 4 master degrees, yet he was struggling big time to get an opportunity in the domain that he is into and the domain that he is interested in. And unlike always, like everyone else, right, who was struggling out there, he started doing odd jobs. He started doing Uber deliveries, DoorDash, skip the dishes, all the possibilities that's easy, quick money, and we can continue our living and we can support our living expenses, right? That's really essential for survival. But somehow deep down in the bottom of his heart, I could feel that he isn't enjoying. How he's gonna enjoy, because that's not what he's here for. And with due respect, see, no job is small, or no job is less than anything. As long as you're active, you're healthy, you're earning in a very honest way, nothing comes in between that. But then somehow, that's not what he was meant to do. That's not was his dream of doing. And that's where my search, the whole networking game and the strategy came in place. Coming back to my story, after vigorous applications submitted to various job portals, I landed my first job as an audit manager with Scotiabank. It was around 5 months when I received this opportunity and job offer letter. So I landed in October 2020, and the offer letter was rolled out to me in April 2021. So it was exact 5 months. So I landed a job that could help me support my family and be in the game of survival. But was that enough? Was I happy? So here, let me take a pause and tell you, I wasn't overconfident. I wasn't over aiming for something. But then in the back of my mind, the homework that I did back in India and the research that I did back in India, I really wanted to be back to the global investment banks. So Scotiabank is a national bank in Canada. It's a great place to work with, and I'm still friends with my EDs and my managers that I worked with in Scotiabank. It's a great fun place to work with. Though it was in Toronto, I was working from Montreal with a special exception. But somehow I kept on looking for opportunities to be a part of a global investment bank. So I kept on applying more, and I found the position suddenly saying risk officer. So you know what, sometimes companies use titles, job titles, not as the position that you're gonna hold. So as long as it was in alignment to my domain, which is risk and compliance, I said, okay, let me go ahead and let me apply. There is no harm in applying, right? You apply as many as you want, right? So when I applied for it and I got through the interview process, in my offer letter, I got to know it is a VP position, because when it was advertised on LinkedIn, it just said risk officer. It didn't say a VP. So I really didn't incline for a VP, but then I think the hiring manager really did like my candidacy, and he agreed to take me on board with him and the other team members as a VP, because there was definitely something in me that struck him. If you want to know a bit more about how did I draft my resume to customize with the job description, and how did I tweak those keywords in the cover letter, drop a comment below so that I can guide you and map your resume with mine to help you gain as many possibilities out there. All right, let's talk about the tips and tricks that I actually use that helped me land this dream job for myself. Number one, I tailored the resume based on the keywords used in the job description. So I practiced the fake interview in front of the mirror so that I understand how my answer is gonna come out when the questions are asked. Number three, I think this point actually made the game in my favor. So here I had a list of questions that I wanted to ask to my hiring manager in the first round of my interview at the end of the interview. So usually when they ask you that, okay, do you have any questions for me? Most of the times we tend to say, no, thank you. I think you answered everything. But the trick is, this will make the hiring manager presume that you aren't prepared or you are not much interested to get this position work for you. So for me, I had those list of questions that I asked to my hiring manager, and that actually made the conversation no more professional but a friendly chat. If you want to know more, what were those questions? What kind of thinking? What did Ishani use in her strategies to land this job that was a game changer for her? Comment below and I'm going to share all the insider news. If you are dreaming for a leadership role in Canada, subscribe to my new channel, and I'm going to share more tips and tricks and insider news very soon. If you think any of the news that I shared today is anyhow helpful to you or can be a help to you, please subscribe to my channel so that I can understand what you want to know more in my career journey as an immigrant, and I can make similar videos for you all. Comment below with your questions, your concerns, and if you want any tips and tricks in drafting your resumes or cover letter so that it can slightly help you to have a better chance in landing a job. Until I bring another video for you all, stay happy, stay healthy, and good luck in your job search. Bye.